Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. This video is part of the YouTube series that I am making called Zero to Hero Business Central. In this particular series, I already uploaded few videos on my YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to go over dependencies, table extensions, and page extensions. First, if you see over here, dependencies define relationships where one extension or project relies on objects from another. For example, let us take one extension where we have employee page and employee table as our extension. So if I say this as table and this as page, and let us take one more, let us call this app or extension as dependency app, which actually depends on our extension. So this particular app that we are going to develop, or this particular extension that we are going to develop, is actually dependent on this extension or object. So this is actually called dependencies, and in this particular extension we can actually extend the functionalities of both employee table and employee page. We are going to see that in a minute. And in this particular extension in app.json, we need to give id, publisher, and version of this particular app. So if you see over here, by default, whenever we are creating a new project, the project is actually dependent on the business central. That means whenever we do download symbols, it actually downloads the business central symbols. For example, it downloads base application symbols, system application symbols, etc., etc. So all the applications or all the extensions are by default dependent on the business central. But once we develop our extensions, business central, for example, business central extension 1, and if I wanted to develop one more extension which actually depends on business central extension 1, then in app.json we need to give these properties: id, name, publisher, version. So for example, in business central extension 2 app.json, we need to provide the id, name, publisher, version of business central extension 1. So we are going to see that in action, and we are going to see that in code. So let me just first open my Visual Studio Code from here. Now I wanted to create one more app or one more extension which actually depends on this particular extension. So first let me actually do that. Let me create new al go, and let me just do that in the default path itself. So al project 2, and let me create it in 15. And now here you can see, yes, I trust the authors. It is a default project, hello world project. So your own server, I'm going to choose that, and let me actually choose pc 26 demo, and let me try to download the symbols. So first step is to download the symbols. That means we are actually downloading business central symbols. Admin, and password is this. So it is going to download the symbols for me. So now here you can see it is extending this particular, the page extension 50100 customer list extension is actually extending customer list page from the business central. So this is a business central page, and it is extended by customer list extension because all the applications by default depend on the business central. So first, if you come over here, we have app.json, and in app.json we have this section called dependencies. So now what we wanted to, or what we wanted to achieve was, let me open my other extension called Zero to Hero. Go to here and go to here. Let me go here and Zero to Hero. So this is my main application, main extension. We can call it Business Central Extension 1. This is Business Central Extension 1, and we have one more extension called AL Project 2, and let us give the dependencies over here. So we need to give the curly braces, and in id, so let me choose this actually, id, publisher, name, and version. So first let me take the id from the main extension. Let me go to app.json. In here I'm going to copy this id. So let me copy this id, come over here, let me give the id over here, and this. Let me give the publisher. Publisher is Tulasidas. Name of the application is, let me just go, zero to hero, and version is, yeah. So now let me just check once this dependency ID. We copy this again. Let's see. Hopefully this, let's paste it in here, and let me do the download symbols again. Now let us see. Now let me go to al.packages, and in here you can see the symbol Tulsidas 0 to hero, which is actually my main extension, this one. So this AL project 2 is actually dependent on 0 to hero extension that you can see over here. And in here you can see I have some errors. It says an application object of type page extension with ID 50100 is already declared by extension 0 to hero by Tulsida. So if you see in this particular extension hello world.al, I already have this 50100 as a page extension customer list. What I can do is I can actually delete this because I don't want this anymore. So this is what dependencies are, and let me go to the slide, and in here now we are going to see what are table extensions and page extensions. As I said, we are going to extend the functionalities of business central extension 1. In our case it is 0 to hero in business central extension 2. So we can do table extensions and page extensions. Basically the table extension object allows you to add extra fields or change some properties on table provided by business central or dependency app. So we have our app, this is 0 to hero. In here we have employee table and employee page. We are going to extend both employee table and employee page from our dependency app. So let me go in here and let me create a new folder called table extension, and let me create a new folder for page extensions. And in table extension I'm going to create a new file called employee table ext to extend the employee table. So in here we again have snippet called t table ext. So if you choose this, it is going to ask you for id. We already have this id in the main extension, so let me do this one, and let me name it as employee table extension, and this actually extends the employee table. And this is a table extension, so in here we can add additional fields. For example, if I wanted to add new field, I can choose t field, and let me just add a new field over here called employee salary, and let me give this one as integer. And let us also add this particular field in the page as well. So in page I'm going to create a new file called employee page ext.al, and in here again I'm going to choose the snippet t page ext, and in here I'm going to give id. So actually when we are doing the table extension, it did not give us any error because in our main extension this is actually a page extension, not a table extension. So in here now you can see this is actually throwing us the error. So let me just change this, and let me call this as employee page ext, and in here I can add the field that I created in the table. So let me add that. So if I wanted to add that particular field, I need to add it after some other field. So let us take this, add last, and sorry, add not add last but add after, and let us add it after the employee age. So basically in this particular extension, we have extended both employee table and employee page, and we have added the app.json Dependencies, that is zero to hero extension, that which is our main extension. So let me publish this one and let us see how it actually going to change the UI. So now let us open PC and let me open the employee page. Going to employee page, and now here you can see I have employee salary. And if I go to inspect page, control alt F1, and in here if I see extensions, I should be able to see all the extensions that are impacting this particular table and page. Now here you can see there are two extensions which are impacting this particular employee page and employee table, and those are zero to hero and hail project 2. So that's all in this video. If you like this video, you should consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be uploading more videos in this particular series called Zero to Hero Business Central AL. If you don't want to miss them, you should definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.